Good evening, everyone. It's Monday, April 22nd. My name is Zon Eastis, and we'll get rolling here with the regularly scheduled Guilford Select Board meeting. So the first order of business is to hear our rules of procedure.
All right. Now, take a look. The Select Board, as required by law, conducts meetings in accordance with Vermont Open Meeting Law 1 VSA 310 to 314, except as provided in Section 313 of that title. At these meetings, the public must be afforded a reasonable opportunity to give its opinion on matters considered by the Select Board, so long as order is maintained. Such public comment is subject to the reasonable rules established by the Chair of the Select Board, which is 1 VSA 312H. While the law clearly establishes the right of public participation, that right is not without its limits. The statute reads, "At an open meeting, the public shall be given a reasonable opportunity to express its opinions on matters considered by the public body during the meeting. As long as order is maintained, public comment shall be subject to reasonable rules established by the chairperson." I think the Secretary of State's Guide to Open Meetings puts it this way, quote, "The public comment period is not a free-for-all. The board chair may establish reasonable rules to maintain order, and reasonable limitations on the amount of time for each speaker are not unusual or improper." In other words, the Vermont statutes are there to set up this meeting to succeed, so let's have a constructive and civil meeting.
Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you. All right, we'll move right ahead then to the next item on the agenda is changes to the agenda order. So I don't know, I'm not aware of any. And so is there anyone? Okay. All right, we'll move ahead then to community comments. And we'll turn this over to Miranda.
Okay, well, first of all, I wanted to welcome everybody to the awareness that it's Earth Day. And Jethro and Jamie, who are chairs of Green Up, have a kid birthday today. And so they've asked me to read the following message. Hello neighbors, our annual opportunity to work together and clean up roadside trash is just 3 weeks away. Green Up Day this year will be on Saturday, May 4th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Broadbrook Community Center at 3940 Guilford Center Road. If you can volunteer any of your time that day, please stop by. We will have all the cleanup supplies you need, road signs, road signups, and refreshments. If you want to get started early, you can also pick up Green Up Day trash bags at the Guilford Town office ahead of time, anytime. They are open 7 to 5 Monday through Thursday. And let us know what road you will clean up by emailing greenupguilford@gmail.com, and then bring your gathered litter to the community center on May 4th. Please note that we can't accept hazardous waste or tires. Every little bit helps, and this one day makes a huge difference for the rest of the year. Please join us, and may the 4th, like 4th of May, be with us as we green up Guilford. Thanks, Jamie. And I have one other announcement that's personal, that this is the first night of Passover, a Jewish holiday commemorating freedom from oppression, communal gratitude, and welcoming the stranger to our table. I've chosen to be here because these are values I try to bring to our work. I've brought some of the bread of affliction for anybody who wants to share. And sadly, no 4 glasses of wine for us, but in spirit, I celebrate this. So
Great.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks. Folks that are online, welcome everyone. I'm looking at the screen right now. We want to make sure that we can, there we go, Ann Ryder. Good, thanks. All right, so we can see first and last names required. All right.
Excuse me, Connie had something to add about Green Up. Can we
All right.
just,
Yeah, sure.
please.
Let's see right here. Connie.
I'm Connie Burton, Weatherhead Hollow Road, and I just want to say that in regard to Green Up, I didn't even think of announcing it here, but at the car wash, at the Burton Car Wash on Putney Road in Brattleboro, we're having a benefit for Green Up from 11 to 1, and we'll give 100% of the proceeds that we take in during those 2 hours to the local green up efforts.
That's
Oh, cool.
great.
Thank you.
So-
Connie.
If you
Okay,
would need to
just
wash your
repeat
car.
the date one more time.
Oh, I don't think I even gave it. It's May 2nd. It's
Okay.
Thursday. It's 2 days before actual green up. And it's May 2nd, 11 to 1. And WTSA will be broadcasting live at the car wash. So come get your car washed.
What a great opportunity
Yes.
to clean our filthy
Yeah, yeah.
car.
Oh,
That's
I
right.
know.
It fits right in with cleanup, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
that's perfect.
Thanks so much, Connie,
Sure.
that's
Thank
great.
you. Thank you. All right, thanks, Miranda. All right, we'll move ahead then to approval of the minutes of April the 10th. And assuming we've all read them, take a motion.
I motion.
Thanks, Chip. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Michael. So I don't see Tara online. She's not waiting to get in, is she?
No.
Okay. All right, then we can just take a voice vote here. So all in favor of passing those, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, I didn't hear any abstentions. Are there any, I'm not aware of any abstentions, I should say, I wouldn't hear one. And then, are there any noes? Okay, thank you. Then we're gonna move right on to the finance.
Oh, great, okay.
We've adjusted the agenda just a bit to just get some work done here at the beginning, some kind of catch-up work, daily record-keeping work. So we'll move the warrants up to this part of the agenda. So-
Okay, so I can do that.
All right, thank you.
And so I move that we pay the following warrants: payroll week 4/14/24 for the sum of $7,087.96. Payroll week 4/21/24 for the sum of $7,196.09. Expense warrant number 2419 for the sum of $48,367.30. Expense warrant number 2419F for the sum of $26.50 for a grand total of $62,677.85.
All right, I will second that. Is there anything you want to tell us? Maybe we should see if there's anything we should know.
Yeah. Well, one of the major expenses was insurance, and I was expecting actually that Tara was going to talk about it in more detail. So Erica, could you help us out?
Is there anything that we need to know about?
Well, the insurance, I think that's just a quarterly payment. And
Right.
It's part of payroll, it's a withholding, so some of that's
Right.
withheld from payroll, and it's a payment that we pay to Blue Cross Blue Shield. If it seems a little bit extra, there may be some lag. They have some weird computer glitches, and so I think we've owed them 2 months of payment, so that's
Oh,
probably
I
what's
see.
going on there.
Okay.
All right, any other questions or any conversation here about the warrants?
But Miranda, I emailed you just now if you want to.
Oh, you emailed me? Okay.
Yes,
well,
or I could address.
No,
some
no,
of the
that's.
invoices of interest if you like.
Oh, no, certainly, thank you. Okay, invoices of interest. Okay, for Ensign Baldwin, the $6,600, bringing us to 62% of the FY24 budget. Lots of ash trees that he took down, making a mess. $7,426 for salt for Cargill, and the sheds are now full, having used 76% of the FY24 budget. Several lines of end-of-season equipment maintenance from DJ's Chapel Tractor and Fairfield for 4 dump trucks and the new grader, and to Southworth Milton for the 2017 backhoe. That was $5,491. $1,214 for EMD satellite phone contract. This is a savings from the previous contract, which was $3,621, as Guilford is in the process of replacing all but one satellite phone with digital radios. And finally, $5,309 in legal fees related to Jason Heron's Supreme Court case. This preparation for oral arguments brings the cost to the town for the second lawsuit so far to $19,765. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Any further conversation here with the board? All right, all those in favor of paying these warrants, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. I heard no abstentions, and I don't think there will be any no's. Okay, we'll move on now to updates and reports from various folks. We'll start off with Erica, Town Administrator.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and happy spring. I don't want to jinx anything, though. So, since we last met only a week and a half ago, I have been very busy. I returned all of our annual paperwork, grant applications for Class 2 roadway grants to V-Trans. They require those grant applications, a letter of intent that we signed last time to apply for the grants. Also some contact information, and I'm in pretty regular contact with folks over there, so I can be sure that we're doing things right. I have contacted and talked to several people in application to the Law Enforcement Contract Committee, which I think we'll talk about a little bit later, and also for the position of Town Auditor, which the Select Board has the job of appointing sometime soon. I get a lot of questions from residents, and there was a couple interesting ones in the last couple of weeks. Somebody asked if school vouchers are available for their elementary school kid, if they wanted to send them somewhere else besides Guilford, and the answer is pretty much no to that question. And another person asked about ARPA reporting. If somebody got an ARPA award, do they have to do any additional reporting? And the answer to that is also no. The reporting, unless the town does not have any specific reporting requirements, so if you got the award, you're done. We would love to have an update though with photos, and Ellie's thinking about making a kind of a scrapbook to keep a record in the town office of ARPA, seeing it was such a historic event.
But it's true that we have to report to the federal government.
Yes, and that brings me to the thing that I just finished today. This has been a months-long process. The reporting requires something called sam.gov, which is related to login.gov, and those things are so difficult to deal with. And I've heard that I'm not the only person that has had a problem with this. And so last year, to get into the SAM system, I remember I had to secure a copy of Guilford's charter from 1754? 1754? Yeah, so that was pretty funny to email to someone. And this year they didn't need the charter, but they needed 3 different notarized letters, 1 or 2 of those because I had made a mistake on the letter. But finally, that's all done. I got into the Treasury portal, and today I had a meeting with Katie Buckley, and she helped me complete the ARPA reporting for this past year. So all of Guilford's ARPA money needs to be obligated by December 31st of this year. And that means a signed contract for the work to be done.
Correct.
So it's not just
an
encumbered.
idea. Yes.
It's not just encumbered.
Right.
So we have some outstanding money to obligate.
Yeah, we need to get to work on that. Yeah.
Yes, this year. So that's it.
Well, that sounds really complex.
Oh boy, you bet it was.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah,
I cannot imagine.
I've dealt, in the previous job, I dealt with SAM.gov, and it's very, very complicated. It does change every
It
single
changes
year.
every year,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the thing, it was
requirements
very,
are
it was
changing.
completely different
Yes.
from last year,
What a
so.
nightmare.
Yeah. Thank you, Erica, thank you.
Can I ask what
Yeah.
funds to obligate, what does that mean? I'm just gonna
Oh,
ask that
so
question.
Guilford's original ARPA award from the Treasury was, let me see if I get this right, $633,239.77. So $633 in total ARPA money to Guilford. And we have so far obligated $518,831. So we have encumbered all but $1,772.83 of it.
So the encumbered means it was the select board's decision to set money, all those dollars aside. The obligated dollars have been contractually dealt with, so
Yes.
that there are contracts and the monies can be issued. And there's a remainder that's still encumbered by our decision-making, but hasn't been obligated yet.
So by the end of this year, it needs to be obligated.
And then we have, just so everyone knows, there's still, by federal standard, even though the funds are all obligated by December 31st of 2024, towns have, and it won't be Guilford's case so much, but towns have the opportunity to spend money. It needs to be obligated by the day, but it can be spent for the next 2 years. So we don't have to pay it all out until 2026.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I think most of ours has been obligated and contracted and spent in this fiscal year, in the year that you just reported. Yes, I
Yeah.
think that's right. Yeah. We still have some to keep track of. We'll get on top of it.
Yep.
All right.
And there's still $1,000-something
Yes.
remaining that
Yes, that's right.
someone is,
So if people are interested in applying to the select board, there is not quite $2,000 left to be awarded.
I think we can do some good work by just doing a report maybe at our next meeting about all of this and state it out, and then what's available and what might be. We might need to do some different decision-making too about obligated funds. I recall some of the encumbered funds were ideas that we wanted to commit, and those might not be committable because of other issues in the region. We wanted to be part of collective endeavors, for instance, and if those aren't set up, then we may not be able to obligate the dollars in those ways. So.
That would
As an
be a
example.
good topic for another meeting.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, thank you, Erica. So is there anything to report about the highway? Dan?
Dan said he could not come, and I don't know why.
Okay,
But
all right.
those ash trees that I mentioned earlier, that was a big thing, and other than that, I mean, all that work for maintenance on the equipment is
He's having to.
really good based on just the fact that winter's over, the winter hours are finished, they're on summer hours now.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda, we have a report from DVFiber, and I see that Jason Black is online. Jason, are you willing to come? Hi, how are you?
Hold on.
Well, there you go.
Great, thank you. I really appreciate the invitation to come this evening, and I hope I can give you a quick report on where things have been at and answer any questions that the group may have. For those unfamiliar, DVFiber is the community broadband network, part of VCBB's rollout of broadband throughout the state of Vermont. Our mission continues to be to ensure that all locations of our 24-member district, we have a pretty large district in our area, all have the ability to connect to high-speed internet, with underserved and unserved being our priority groups that we're tracking and working through right now. We're pleased to say that customers have surpassed over 250, with numbers growing week to week. DVFiber has been doing construction throughout our area of the district. The full launch of the infrastructure construction began in 2023 during the summertime, and so far 112 miles of our fiber has now passed through over 1,000 locations. Completed neighborhoods have been really through Reedsboro and Stamford so far. The areas west of us are the ones that are first part of the ring that are being attracted and worked with first. They're expecting to start to connect new customers in Whittingham in the next few weeks. So the next group of the district coming online, and then following up with Halifax and in Marlborough. Part of my role as a representative for Guilford on the governing board is certainly not, helping to support the wider goals of the project, but also to speak for Guilford and where our needs are and how we factor into the larger scope of the construction and when our communities will start to be given the granted access that our now neighbors are getting right now in those other Reedsboro and Stamford areas. Unfortunately, timing, we've talked about this before, but timing for Guilford is probably still between 1 to 2 years out. However, we're still continuing to support, answer questions. A lot of the things are happening through the staffing of DVFiber, have been fielding questions from members of our community, as well as in Vernon and other parts of the southeast area of the district. Right now, we're still continuing to make the recommendation for those who are underserved or unserved in our area to look at the available options to you and make the right decisions, but not make long-term contracts. I know how difficult that is. Where I am in Guilford, I'm on the Xfinity side, and I can only say, if you've ever tried to get rid of a vendor like Xfinity, it's not the easiest thing to do. But keeping my options open, hoping for a timing that fits in best for when my area does get served. The engineering teams and the different committees of DVFiber, from communications to finance, are looking at a lot of different variables every day. The staff has increased in the front office. It's not just the executive director anymore. There's other support staff in place which are answering and solving a lot of problems every day. To the point I heard talking about the ARPA funds, DVFiber was one of the organizations who was granted a portion of funds through ARPA. You can say that right now, that is all being tracked separately for Guilford, and none of our funds have been spent outside of our own community, and those will not be spent until which time DVFiber enters into Guilford, and then they'll be applied towards that. Certainly, if there's any reporting that's necessary, you can contact me, and I'm happy to work through the front office at DVFiber to provide any information back for you and answer any questions there. There's actually some fun things coming up as well, which I wanted to report on. In Whittingham tomorrow, actually, from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Municipal Center, there's going to be an ice cream social. The group has been doing several of these in different communities, particularly the ones where we're starting to connect customers. And these are great opportunities to meet with the staff, meet with members like myself, get some ice cream, of course, which is always great, and just generally ask them questions. I'm looking right now with Gabby, who's with DVFiber, to try to get maybe a possibility of a summer event in Guilford. If you've not had a chance to see it or see it on the internet, I encourage you to do a Google search on the Vermont Broadband Film Connected. It's a small 30-minute film that was made to help tell the story about community broadband in our state. And it's a fantastic way of really understanding the scope of what the entire state's aiming to do with this project, much better than I can convey through my words. But I'm hoping that we'll be able to do, perhaps at the Broadbrook Center this summer, maybe a community meet and greet, and show that film in our community and help answer questions about how this project will impact them and when it will impact them. So those are some things that are kind of on the radar for me, looking at the events. So I am a member of the governing board for DVFiber for Guilford, but I'm also on the communications committee. So I'm working with them to help spread the word, develop new communication strategies to help get customers familiar with who we are, how we differ from Fidium Fiber, Xfinity, and all the other for-profit based companies that are out there in that space, and hopefully, again, connect people to our story and understand the value that we hope to bring to our community in the years to come.
All right, Jason, thank you very kindly. Does anybody have a question here? Everybody On the select board?
Could you just repeat when the ice cream event is? I missed
Yes,
it.
it's tomorrow in Whittingham. at the Municipal
Whiting.
Center.
Whiting.
Like,
Yeah, we say
Whitingham.
Whitingham in Vermont, yeah.
Apologies. I get corrected quite a bit when I pronounce my towns. So
Well,
yeah,
it's funny, when I first moved here, I thought it was Whittingham for the longest time too. I remember that, yeah, remember having to make that switch.
Right,
don't get me started on Bernardston. I get that one wrong all the time too.
right.
Yeah, good. All right, thank you very much.
I appreciate your time. Thank you for
Yeah,
listening.
thanks so much.
you.
Thanks for your work. It's very important work, Kim. Good, we'll move on. Guilford Cares won't be here this evening. They had asked for a time on the agenda, but then it turns out they're not available to be here tonight. So we'll save them for another time. So then we'll jump on to the next portion of the meeting, which is the Select Board's old business. This is items that we have seen before. Just want to comment quickly on the first one, staff reviews. Miranda and I have been chartered to conduct staff reviews, and we will be done with that process, with the interview process as of Wednesday, and the written process shortly after that. So just so everyone on the select board knows that a document is developed and signed by me and by the staff member, and then is placed in their personnel record. So just want to let you know that that process will certainly be done by our next board meeting. So we'll count this as the report for that. All right, moving ahead to the Windham County Sheriff's Service Contract Advisory Committee. I need to take a few minutes here and just hear where we get an update of where things stand right now, where things are, and then I think there's not going to be any action this evening, but let's go ahead and find out where we are. Erica.
Well, I can say I am still collecting names of people that are interested in serving on this committee. I definitely need at least 2 more folks. Maybe 3.
Yeah, 3 more.
3 more.
Okay, so we don't have a timeline on this or anything yet, but we may develop one to try to encourage folks to come along. And the idea is that we have there's a charge that's available on our website for community members to look at and see if you'd like to step up and help us solve this this service contract issue. And it's a good opportunity, I think, for our town to have a really strong a decision-making process here among a number of people. We've seen this community process work very well for us, so eager to see that happen again.
So just to be clear, how many people have come forward so far to be on the committee?
Well, I have two people that I think are very good choices. One is Jared Bristol, so. there's one other person
And
that
so then
is
3
requested.
more
Yeah.
would be, yeah, so if any of us have suggestions for people who would represent diverse points of view, this is information gathering and advice.
Yes, so please get in touch with me. My email is townadmin@guilfordbt.gov.
Any other comments here at the select board? Okay. Anything anybody in the community would like to offer up? Connie?
I sent an email to all the board too, but I'll just reiterate. I think it's really, really important that we include some of our law enforcement people who live in town. We have several retired state police people, and they know all the inner workings of how these departments work together, what works and what doesn't work, who has authority when they all arrive at the scene at the same time. They just have so much information that, I as a outsider would have no clue. I wouldn't even know what questions to ask to get this information. But since we do have so many retired, and they may be more than the 3 that I know of, but I think we should fully use their knowledge.
Great, send them forward.
Yeah.
Great.
Connie, would you be willing to reach out to them and ask them to get in touch with Erica?
Sure, I don't know quite how to.
I believe I have heard from one of them, from Craig Report.
Okay, good, yeah, yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to get in touch with the other 2 that I know.
All right. Any other comments from the community? Okay, thank you. We'll move ahead then. We'll move on to new business. And this is the next item of business is an annual commitment that we make. It's a letter of intent that we need to send to the state for municipal roads grants and aid program. So every year when we've already budgeted a certain amount, and we just need now to start closing those loops here. And this is one of the ways we do this. We've done it for years. I noticed the other day when I was looking around at other select board agendas in the area that Putney is doing it this week as well. So it's a letter that's come out from the state. And so, but we need to, as a select board, we need to agree that we want to sign this letter of intent and then and sign it. So I take a motion for that.
I'll gladly make that motion.
Thank you, Michael.
I'll second that.
Thanks, Chip. Is there any other conversation here, any other comments here at the board level? All right, anything in the community? All right, thanks very much. Then I think we can, since we're all here in the room, all those in favor of signing this letter of intent to participate in the municipal roads grants and aid program, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. I hear no. I heard 4 ayes, so I'll assume there are no abstentions and no votes. Okay. Thank you very much kindly, folks. Now, there's no other business that I'm aware of this evening. So, and there have been no correspondences that have come to the select board in the last week that need to be addressed at this moment. So at this point, the select board will be moving into an executive session. So we've done this some before, folks. So the standard practice, before we move to, I'll just alert everyone, the standard practice will be to ask everyone who's in the room to step out into the outside. We'll call you back when we're done, and those folks that are online, we'll put you in the waiting room. And when we return, if you're still there, then we'll ask you back into the meeting, invite you back into the meeting. So, thank you. Check.
First, you move 2 things, and then I'll
So,
put
yeah.
everyone in the meeting.
Yeah, so we need to move, we're gonna move into executive session to discuss labor relations agreements with employees per 1 VSA section 313A 1B. And our first action will be to move that premature knowledge of discussions could potentially put the town or the person involved at significant disadvantage. So I would first make that motion. I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Michael. Any discussion? Do we all understand what we're doing?
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
get that today.
So, all right, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Now we'll move into executive session to discuss, we're gonna move into executive session,
You move.
say it again?
You move.
We move.
I'm going to move. I move that we move into enter executive session at 7:03 to discuss labor relations agreements with employees per 1 VSA section 313A 1B, inviting Erica Elder to participate. Is there a second?
I second that.
Thank you, Chip.
Yeah.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, now.
All right, so I will move that we come out of executive session, exit executive session, and the executive session ended at 7:38, and there will be no action taken from the executive session. Okay, no need for,
Second.
and we need a second to come out.
I'll second.
Thank you.
And then do we have to vote?
Yes,
Oh.
all those in favor of coming out of executive session, please say
Aye.
Aye, thank you very kindly. All right, folks, then we'll move right on to the next order of business, which is to bear with me as I read through the actions from the previous meeting, so they'll go into the record. We approved the minutes of March 25th. The select board authorized the signing of the professional auditor's engagement letter. The select board adopted law enforcement contract committee charge language. The select board named Chip and Tara as liaisons to that contract committee. The select board authorized Erica to populate the law enforcement contract committee. The Select Board approved a document called the Vacancy in Auditor Office Posting. The Select Board approved appointment of the Algiers Traffic Safety and Trails Committees as subcommittees of the Plan Commission. The Select Board also approved the TA60 Annual Financial Plan, and the Select Board approved warrants as posted on the last agenda. Actions taken in tonight's meeting. The Select Board approved the minutes of the special meeting of April the 10th. The Select Board,
Adopted the warrant.
yes, thank you, approved the warrants. The Select Board then approved the signature of a letter of intent to participate in the Municipal Roads Grant and AIDS Program. And the Select Board went into executive session and came out of executive session. With all of that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will make that motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Chip. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Michael. All those in favor, please say
Yes.
aye.
Leave on.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? All right, thank you very kindly, folks. We shall see you in 2 weeks.